What's Congress doing this coming week? Here are the newts. The House gavels in on Monday at noon for a brief session before moving to legislative business at 2:30 p.m. Let's review the bills on the Majority Leader's current schedule. First, the Post Act, sponsored by Representative Mike Kennedy of Utah, would establish processes to improve contract security personnel engaged in the protection of certain buildings and grounds. Next, the CASE Act, sponsored by Rep. Jefferson Shreve of Indiana, limits the construction of new courthouses. Sponsored by Representative Glenn Thompson of Pennsylvania, the U.S. Grain Standard Reauthorization Act looks to reauthorize the U.S. Grain Standards Act. Next, the Mental Health in Aviation Act from Rep. Sean Casten of Illinois. It would require the administrator of the FAA to revise regulations for individuals in aviation who disclose a mental health diagnosis or condition. The Transport Jobs Act, sponsored by Rep. Tom Barrett of Michigan, would develop and make public the Veteran to Supply Chain Employee Action Plan, a plan that would address the difficulties for veterans in the supply chain industry. Next, the Frost Act from Rep. Tony Weed of Wisconsin would classify deicing storage facilities as airport development. Sponsored by Robert Onder of Missouri, the Space Act of 2025 directs the GSA to expand the use of shared space arrangements in federal leases. Finally, the Mid-Atlantic River Basin Commission's Review Act. Sponsored by Rep. Robert Bresnahan of Pennsylvania, this act would require the Comptroller General to conduct a review of the basin commissions. Over in the Senate, business begins Monday at 3 p.m., starting with the nomination of Edward Arto for U.S. District Judge in Florida's Southern District. That's a quick look at the start of the upcoming week in Congress. Follow Newt, your source for clear, fact-based info on Congress.